Wonderful. We're recording. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to the Frequency Soul Collective. My name is Beck McQuilty, and I'm so excited to have each and every one of you here today. I'm excited to be interviewing some of, if not the top QLAs, quantum living advocates in Solex, and to really be able to pick their brain on everything in regards to the business, how they talk about the technology, and also to what they feel are the benefits of actually being a QLA with the company. So give you a little bit of background on myself. By trade, I am a corporate trainer, national sales trainer, that really moved into the holistic space many years ago. I'm a qualified neuro-linguistic kinesiologist. I'm a psychic counselor, but I really have a huge passion for frequency and just helping people. So I work with people all over the world, both predominantly online and a few people lucky enough to work in person with me here at my home. But most of the work I do is online, which is why bringing this technology into my business was just such an easy decision for me, because then I knew I was able to help people to more of an enormity anywhere in the world. So that's just a little bit about me. I live here on a beautiful property with my husband, my daughter Addison, and I just have so many testimonials around the product, I suppose, itself, but the business as well. It's been a huge blessing for our family to be able to bring this device to the country, to Australia, to have Solex see it as a huge need for us to have it here, particularly towards the end of the pandemic when people were really struggling. The company, I found, just have such an incredible heart, and they really saw a need for us to have this technology here. So it was just such a blessing. So enough about me and what I do. I'm going to jump straight into it because we've got some incredible guests today that I just really want to pick their brains on your behalf and ask them lots of questions. Some of the questions were sent in to me, so thank you for those of you who sent questions, but really, this is going to give you so much information today, and certainly a lot to go away and have a bit of a ponder on as well. So firstly, I'm going to introduce you to, and I'll just ask our speakers as we go. So just if anyone could mute as you're coming on, please, that would be greatly appreciated, just so that we don't disrupt the call. And Paige, if you don't mind just muting people as they come on, that would be awesome. Thank you. Sorry. So first and foremost, I'm going to introduce you to the amazing Dr. Sheila Day. Sheila Day has only recently come into the business, and she's doing such an incredible job. She's a proud mother of 4 amazing adult children and a grandmother to 5 precious glam babies, as she calls them. She's a former paramedic of 13 years gone, and she's also a naturopathic doctor. She's the owner of the Natural Wellness Ministries private ministerial association and the Natural Wellness Healing Center in Southwest Missouri, with worldwide remote practice also. She is the author of the 7-Minute Transformational Journal. She is a speaker on homeophylaxis, healing oils of the Bible, and the Natural Health and Healing Board certified naturopathic doctor. She's a nutritional kinesiologist, frequency medicine specialist, and a certified holistic cancer coach. Certified homeophylaxis practitioner and detoxifying vaccine injury, a certified family herbalist, amongst many other qualifications. I could honestly continue on, but I'm going to ask Dr. Sheila Day to please unmute herself. Good morning.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon.
It's amazing. It's so lovely to see you. It's so wonderful to have you here. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for asking me.
Yeah, it's such a pleasure. So I'm going to jump straight into questions for you because, Dr. Sheila, I would love to know, can you just share with us a little bit more about how you came to know about the AO scanning device?
Absolutely. About 3.5 years ago, right before everything shut down, a colleague of mine had asked me to sit on a webinar about a frequency device, and I was brand new, didn't know much about frequency and quantum and all that, but When I heard the information, I knew this was something that every household needed. So that really started my journey in network marketing, frequency medicine, empowering people. And then when all the shutdown happened, watching people lose their businesses, their jobs, and being so unempowered, and how network marketing could really bring their power back and give them their livelihoods back. That completely shifted my mindset of being nauseated by network marketing. I had checked out AO at that time, but it was very expensive, $38,000, I think. And so in the past few years, different things have come through. And I was visiting with a colleague of mine who's an amazing practitioner. Usually she joins me in businesses, but she was talking about the AO scanner and telling me the crazy things that she was experiencing in her clinic, the things that were coming up and what she could do with this technology. And I was like, you got to be kidding me. She said, no, I'm not kidding. And I said, well, isn't that like $38,000? And she said, no, it's only $495. I said, there is no way. I know device and technology, that there's no way. I'm like, okay, $500, I can take a $500 loss. So I got it, not with high expectations. $500. Are you kidding me? What am I going to get out of that?
Yeah, right.
Completely blown away. And I'm thinking of all the other things people spend money on. I'm like, this way outperforms everything that people are using for such a fraction of the price. Oh my gosh, blows my mind.
Yeah, I love that. And it's so true. For when you look at what you get for the price that you pay, the value in what we have is phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. I couldn't agree more. Could you talk to me a little bit around, how do you explain this to people? So how do you introduce the top technology of the AO scanning device and frequency to maybe to someone who's never heard of, the energy work before?
Well, because of my own journey, I have just always felt like you have to keep it simple. And I hear Lauren talk about this all the time. Keep it simple. If you are talking over people's head, they're not going to get it and you're going to lose them. You got to simplify it down. And to me, it is that simple. Healing is simple. God never intended for things to be complicated. We complicate things. So I'm not about big words or having to have lengthy explanations. It doesn't work for me. For me, you're finding information that you would not otherwise have. I mean, seriously, we are solving mysteries here just with information. How else do we find the information about what's going on? Why am I feeling like this? Or why is this thing expressing? Or, all of these whys, and you go to clinic after clinic and practitioner after practitioner, nobody's got answers. I've got something I can just scan the body and ask questions and have answers. And it's like, now I know what to do.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's that simple.
Yeah, I agree. I was on a call with a client this morning, and there was so much coming up in his scans of things going on in the body. And one thing after the other came up as hydration, like he was dehydrated, his kidneys, this and that. And I'm like, you're dehydrated. He's like, I drink heaps of water. And then he says, but I also drink energy drinks. And I'm like, do they have caffeine in them? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, you are literally you can drink all the water in the world, but the fact that you're drinking energy drinks with caffeine in them, and this was just such a light bulb moment for him, because I could physically show him what was going on in his body. He would never, ever have known that. He would walk around the rest of his life drinking all this water, thinking he was hydrated when he's not. So, and we know the effects of hydration or dehydration on the body, right? And the most simple thing that I could give him, I get goosebumps talking about it, but I could physically show him, not in one aspect, but in every aspect of his body, why he was experiencing what he was experiencing. So I love that explanation. Thank you. So how do you bring the AO scanner and not just the scanning device, because we have multiple, we've got now the 660 band, the infrared, beautiful, which is amazing. I love it. Oh my gosh, it's helped my shoulder so much in the last week. How do you bring the different products, whether it be the full Vic minerals, that into your practice and your business?
I keep them on my desk and on my shelves. I bought several of these. They're on my desk. I print out the explanation. What is it? What does it do? Here you go. I have the supplements because I take them. I think everybody should be using fulvic every single day. It's a basic staple, even children. I love ours because I have done the research on it. I'm happy with it. I wish that they would come out with a powder because there's so much that you can do with a powder, but I keep it on the shelves and I test people so they can feel the energy when I ask their body if this is good for them, if this is something they need, they feel it. So they know. Everybody that I work with, they know. And with the scanner, to me, this is just another tool. It's just, I don't exclusively use it. It complements what I was already doing, but it gives me insight that I would not have with any other modality or testing. There's nothing that can tell us what this thing tells us. Nothing, literally. I just love it because it gives me so much more information, and I insist my people are on daily inner voice. So they know they have to send their voice clips in every morning before a certain time because I spend a dedicated time to scanning and sending those back. Everybody's emotions are out of balance. Things are constantly happening, going on in the back of your mind that you're not aware of, that are driving your responses, how you feel, and your physiology. And even with the best nutritional support, hydrating the body, moving it, eating real food, getting all of that right, if emotions are out of balance, your body's not healing. We have to address the emotions. What easier way can we do that than with our inner voice?
I agree.
Powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I remember Lauren saying initially when they were taking it from that big $38,000 device into a small handheld, even if they could only do the inner voice, if that was the only capability that handheld device ever had, how that would be worth it in itself. And I couldn't agree more. I think everything we know starts with emotion. And as you say, you can go and do everything else. But if your emotions are out of whack and you're not dealing with that first and foremost, it's a huge effect on the body. Absolutely.
It is a must in my practice. If I'm working with cancer or chronic disease, you have to be on daily inner voice. It's not even negotiable.
Yeah. I love that. And I love how you focus on the importance of that because I completely agree with you. It's exceptionally important. So thank you for sharing that. In regards to Solex from a product and a service perspective, what would you focus on first?
So this question I didn't quite understand. Can you give me a little more there?
Yeah. So just in regards to, and I guess it depends on your client, I'm guessing, but if you've got someone sitting in front of you, do you feel like the scanner is priority? Do you feel like the supplementation side, 660 band? I'm assuming it would be the device, but yeah, if you could just share a little bit around that.
Yeah. So, everybody needs to understand the technology. Thankfully, I started attracting more people that are really independent and want to take care of themselves. So my passion is to empower people with the very best of everything, whether it's supplements, technology, healing devices, whatever it is. I want them to have the very best. A lot of people want their scanner. Am I going to work myself out of a job just because they buy their own scanner? Heck no. Look at how much they can do for themselves that I don't have to do anymore. That's going to benefit them and their whole family. Should everybody have a 660 band? Absolutely. If I can get this into every household too, just a whole different kind of support. The supplements, we do testing and they're great supplements. And so I love the top pack where they can just buy that pack all together, but I really wish they'd put the fulvic in that pack because fulvic is vital.
Yeah, that's actually a really good point. Then what would they call it?
I don't know, but I'm going to ask Lauren.
Yeah, I do. I think so because I agree. I think the fulvic is really important, and to have the four together would be brilliant. I couldn't agree more. So when you brought the AO scanner into your practice, how did your current clientele, how did you integrate that? Were they quite receptive to it? How did you find the people you were already had as a clientele, utilizing or you introducing it to them?
So it was a little tricky because we get set in our ways and I had an established flow and everything. And then I thought, I need to be using this more. And people that come here, first of all, this is a private ministerial association. I don't work in the public function. So my people are divinely sent. They've got to be like-minded. So most people that come here, they just do whatever I say.
Yeah.
And they just
Yeah.
trust me because they've had that experience and they know that, whatever I'm doing, it must be working. So when I actually put the little transducer on, I like this. I don't always remember it, but I think that it helps them mentally when I actually use it, that something's happening here. Okay. So we also have to consider that power. And then when they listen to their balancing harmonics, like if I'll do just an inner voice scan and let them listen to it initially, they're already feeling something. So they know something's going on here. And then when they can see all the information, am I going to sit and explain it all? No, I don't need to. They don't want to hear it anyway. It's just a waste of time. So, that's just really how I do it. And then after they've felt the bouncing harmonics, now we talk about a daily inner voice subscription. We do 4 weeks at a time. And then, they're going to save money having their own device. They can do this at home.
Yes, exactly.
And they can do it for their family.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So I guess that leads to my question of what was it within the business side of Solex that really made you want to be involved in the business side? Was it just putting the device in the hands of people to be able to, give them their power back from a health perspective? What was it that really attracted you to the business side?
Before I answer that, I'm going to go back to the patient side because I have a huge remote. So for me to be able to scan people all over the world is huge because I've had other technologies that required contact where they had to purchase something. And that's a big burden. I hated doing that, but I don't like to muscle test long distance. I'm not comfortable with it myself. So that's another reason I was so excited about this, because now I don't care where you are in the world. If my mom wakes up in the middle of the night and she doesn't know if she needs to go to the hospital, I can run a scan, tell her if she needs more care, if this is something we can probably take care of at home. Oh my gosh, I can't be without this. It doesn't leave my side 24/7. As far as the business part, I can tell you that God made huge shifts in me during the whole lockdown situation, and empowering people, because when we don't have money, we don't have power. We also don't have choices. And so this, I was mostly a single mom raising 4 kids, working 3 jobs as a paramedic, didn't have anything. And what really hurt me the most was not having choices. We weren't put here to be in bondage. We were not put here to be controlled, and we weren't put here to have limited choices. Yeah. Money is an energy. It's a freeing energy. We can do things when we have that energy. And so network marketing, now the new way that we are doing social sharing, it's empowering the individual. Because look at these. Here in America, we have a lot of corrupt corporation, and we're spending billions of dollars there and not getting anything back. Where with network marketing, we have the very best products that should never be sold on Amazon or in Walmart. They need to be done through a relationship, and that is powerful. But then you've also got a lot of companies. I've had some really great companies I've worked with that seem really great. You're all excited, you're making good money, and now they crash. That's devastating. Devastating. Yeah. I felt connected with Lauren when I heard his story, and I went to Day of Discovery last year. I was brand new, and I felt like God said I had to go. 13-hour drive. I was exhausted. I didn't want to go. And I just felt him saying, you have to go. I was by myself because my upline is a wonderful practitioner, but she's not a leader or a builder. So I went and I connected with Lauren instantly and learned about the background of this company. Everything that I do was in resonance with Lauren and his story and his mission and his passion for humanity. Yeah. Because especially after the lockdowns too, but just a lot of other experiences in my life, that not being empowered is a huge drive for me to help empower people. And as practitioners, sometimes we take on way too much. We want to save the world. We want to take care of everybody, but then you get into burnout because it's exhausting. So the idea is empower people with the very best and help them take care of themselves, because we all need to be responsible for ourselves. But again, we need to be free financially as well, because we're in bondage if we're not. And as practitioners, if you're not seeing people one-on-one all the time, you don't have money coming in. That's not the way to live. You can't retire that way. You can't go on vacation. You can't take time off. You have to have passive residual. And I can tell you right now, Lauren is one of the most generous men I have ever known. I have never known a company to pay what this company does. And it blows my mind at the end of every month that I have so much money. I'm like, this is crazy.
Yeah.
And we can help other people have that.
Yeah. Yeah, I absolutely agree with you. And I remember having a conversation with Lauren a while ago about when he first was bringing the company into a direct selling space. They hired consultants to come in and give him the advice in regards to compensation. And when he looked at it, he just said no. He said, that's such a minimal amount into what they deserve, you know. And I think the consultant was like arguing with them, and they were talking about like breakage points of where, you know, if the compensation plan breaks here, all this money comes back to the company. And that's where people sometimes don't understand that companies that go and claim they pay 40, 50, 60% out to their distributors don't understand there's actually a huge breakage point in that. And in truth, there's really a 20 to 30%, maybe, if they're lucky, percent being paid out to the distributors. And this was like a whole new world for him, because it felt so inauthentic to him to do that. He argued with them and said, no, I will pay them more. And they thought he was crazy, you know. But
I think he's crazy.
yeah, but he is just, honestly, in the spending of time with him in person, and to be able to know his heart. And I mean, we see it on calls, and when you watch videos of him talking, you feel it. But when you meet him in person, and as you say, like going to Day of Discovery is so important, because when you surround yourself in that energy, you realize you're at home, that these are your people. You know, I've been involved in companies previously, and I felt very detached from the energy. And some of those companies I was with for a considerable amount of time, but it wasn't until I stepped away. And my previous company, I completely walked away. I walked away from the check. I walked away from the people. I walked away from all of it. And I did it because it didn't align with me as a person. I didn't align with my morals and my values. And I thought, oh, well, I wasn't leaving to go somewhere else. It wasn't until I created that space that Solex showed itself to me. And I was like, oh, I see now why I walked away. And what an incredible opportunity to be able to be in that energy of alignment and authenticity too. There's nothing worse than, you know, being so unwell and you know, being inauthentic as to or talking about products that don't resonate, or that you don't feel have the power of what we now have. So yeah, so thank you so much for sharing with us. I really appreciate you, and thank you for jumping on the call today. And I can't wait to meet you in person in September when I'm over.
I can't wait too. I'm so excited you're coming.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Sheila Day. Much appreciated. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Now I'm going to introduce you to one of my beautiful business partners. We are accountability partners. We run side by side in this business, and that is the beautiful Jessica Zavios. Jess, are you there? I'll get you to unmute yourself, please, honey. I think we're twinning in color today. Where are you?
Oh, what is that?
We're twinning in color. Look at you and I go. Hi there.
Hi.
Hey, beautiful. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for asking me. I'm so honored to be here.
Awesome. So everyone, I'm going to tell you a little bit about Jess first. So Jess has been an emotional code and body code practitioner for the past 4 years, and has been a quantum healer for over 2 years now. She is also the co-founder of Heal, which is a holistic social media platform where you can also increase your frequency daily and level up in every area of your life by doing 7 days of consecutive healing with her husband, Emmanuel, who's also amazing, who I met over in Disneyland not long ago. So together they are helping hundreds of clients every single week. Jess graduated and studied nutrition and medical anatomy at Weber State University. Jess was a dental assistant, an orthodontic assistant, an endodontics assistant for 9 years, and has been very passionate for all her life for helping others. She was blown away 2 years ago when she was introduced to the AO scanner and bought it the same day as she had her first session, which is amazing. She now runs a team of over 500 people and loves helping others feel confident in understanding the device, how to do their scans and read the reports, and works one-on-one with her business builders to help them grow their business as well. So I'm so excited to pick your brain today. So thank you for agreeing to do this with me. So I'm going to ask you first and foremost, can you share with us how you have created your success in Solex, because you are one of the top 3 winners to win a trip to California recently. How have you created your success?
Okay, so for me, for my first 6 months, honestly, I was scanning as many people as I could, as fast as I could. I was so excited to show this device to as many people. And for me, it was all long distance. So it's been always just long distance. It hasn't been that one-on-one in person, usually, unless it's like family or somebody like that. And then I was doing free, and then still now I do free demos just for the free inner voice usually. And I totally recommend doing that, even if it's just one per family. But that is honestly where I got my momentum, where it was just started taking off, was that word of mouth. It started spreading like wildfire, as some here probably are experiencing as well. But I promise you, if you just start with the free inner voice, and especially when you're just starting out, that is what got me so comfortable and confident in doing the scans. Like Sheila said, I was also very new to frequencies 2 years ago. I had never even heard of them. I didn't know what they were. I was already like involved with energy healing and holistic like lifestyle, but I was like, I don't know what this is, but I absolutely love it. I saw differences in me and my kids immediately. And so I was like, I got to figure this out because this is incredible.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing. And I do karate, and my kancho always says to me, repetition, repetition, repetition. And that goes through my mind all the time. And it's the same in this business, right? Is to just to do it and to practice. And I think that is such good advice, that when you're first getting started, scan as many people as you can, because that is how you become confident. So I love that. Can you share with us what your daily activity is and what the most important actions you feel are to take on a daily basis for your business?
Yeah. So for the first, like I said, 6 months I was just focusing on scanning. But now I've completely shifted gears. And so now I'm working and training my team on a daily, weekly basis to help them feel comfortable and confident in running their scans. So I honestly, literally probably spend majority of my day doing that. And I even work one-on-one with my builders to help them gain their confidence, to help them wherever they feel like they're struggling with. And it's so fun to help empower others to learn to have that confidence, because when I started a couple of years ago, I had no confidence at all. I didn't even want to do the business side. Some of you have probably heard that before, but I literally had no desire. I was like, I'm just going to like hide over here and like, maybe I'll do a scan here or there. So
yeah,
these have completely changed even my life, gaining that confidence. And I like to help my team as well. But I would say also one of the most important things is getting into the right mindset in the morning. This is huge for our success. What we think about becomes our reality. So if we are thinking, no one is going to buy one of these from me, guess what's going to happen? No one is going to buy one of these from you. So you have to believe in yourself. You have to believe in the product. And how you do that is just by gaining your own testimonial. So do the scans as often as possible, get comfortable with it, start noticing those shifts and things like that. So for me, before I even do a scan, before I help someone on my team, I have to get into that right mindset. And at the day of discovery, I spoke on this a little bit, but you can even just do 1 or 2 of these things, especially if you don't have a morning routine, just start with one of them. It can be something like doing your inner voice scan, journaling, yoga, meditation, stretching, praying, reading, clearing your mind, positive affirmations, visualization, even just applying essential oils. So just start with one of those things. And the next day, or then maybe like do that for a week. And then maybe the next week, do a second one, try something else to add into that. So get into the right mindset, fill that cup up before you can help others.
I agree so much. And setting that solid foundation for your day as well. And I know that, I hear a lot people say, I'm so busy, and they get, quite overwhelmed with their day. But yet if they started their day right, I'm busy too. There's probably a lot to be overwhelmed in my life right at this minute. But the reality of it is I start my day right. And when I always think you always have time for what you prioritize, right? And there was something else you said as well that really set into my mind there is the self-confidence, but it's the self-talk as well. What you do put out there is what you will manifest. Exactly that. If you're thinking, I can't sell this to anyone, or I can't, share this, you're 100% right. So the more you utilize the technology yourself and become confident with it, and just come from that space, I feel, of sharing with others. I hear sometimes, I'm just doing this slowly. Okay, that's fine. But the slower you go, and the less people you're talking to, the less people you're helping as well. It's not always about the success of the business. If you lead with the helping of the people, you look at Dr. Sheila Day as a perfect example of that. She's talking about it, and so are you, Jess. You're talking about it, and so am I, for that matter. We're talking about it every single day, not with the intention to go and sell, hundreds of these devices because we want to make all the money. We're coming from that space of genuinely saying to people, you need this, because if you can start your day right, that changes everything for you, and it is about empowering the person to have, the ease and the calm and the control back of their own health. And to be able to look at something like Dr. Sheila was saying before about, if a mother or someone was to call and say, hey, I have this wrong with me, being able to scan them and say, actually, this is what it is. I've experienced this so many times for myself, for my family particularly, where I can put my mind and their mind at ease. So I think that self-talk and everything is really important as well. So thank you for sharing. Thank you for sharing that. I would love to know how you explain the AO scan technology that we have to people.
So I usually will break it up. I won't say all of this at the beginning because yes, I unfortunately during my first 6 months, I was just like too much information coming out of me and it just goes over their head. Or if you're in person, you see their eyes kind of start like, whoa, like, what are you talking about?
Glazing over.
So I'll do like one of the things kind of on depending on what's going on with their situation. So I may tell them this is an amazing biofeedback device that you can do from your home, or that we can do long distance. People are shocked about even just that, learning that, whoa, like you're over there, I'm over here. Like, how is this happening? I also will explain that it's just a really great educational tool to be able to check your body any time of the day. It can help restore balance into your body, mind, and spirit. It can help regulate our emotions while assisting physical areas of your body. I probably use that one the most, just keeping it as simple as possible, just helping them understand the emotions that it can help with and the physical areas as well. Or I may share with them that it's an affordable handheld device that can scan, optimize, and harmonize our entire body. One thing I love to also share with them is, for me, I like to tell them this is so much cooler than getting your blood work done, because it can check energetic, it can check physical, it can check if it's been absorbed, inherited, stuff like that. So it's kind of, and then optimizing the areas that are also imbalanced. So, which doesn't happen with a blood scan. You kind of just get the results and off you go, So yeah, that's kind of how I like to share it.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you. And I think that when we keep it simple, it's so much easier for people to understand. And also too, I know sometimes for me when I explain it, because I come from such a, being psychic and I come from a bit of a different realm, people think I'm a bit woo-woo, they go, oh, Rebecca, that sounds a little bit woo-woo. And it's like, actually, it's not. If you look at the science behind it and, Albert Einstein, Nikola Tesla, Dr. Royal Rife, when you actually look at the technology over the years, there is so much behind it that, and I think it's when people actually experience the scans as well, even if they are a little bit skeptical, they experience it and they see the results. That's when I think the shift really happens for people who are not quite understanding necessarily what it might mean, but are open to it. Having a scan and physically seeing the results is huge. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. So can you share with us a little bit around how do you work out what's the right business model, and what does that look like for those who are not practitioners, who are wanting to do this as a business, but are not necessarily coming from a practitioner space?
Okay, one thing I'd love to start training and teaching is, if you own a device, honestly, you should not be paying the $149 subscription, meaning we've probably all heard this before, 3 and it's free. So I like to teach that and try and help them within their first month or two we could do like Zoom live, like lives or Zoom calls or things like that with their friends and family to try and show it to them. But I like to explain to them that when they do find their 3, it's going to help them pay you back for your entire device. And then and then some. And then you also will get your monthly subscription covered every single month as well. So I like to try and teach that. Another idea that you can do is charging for full body scans. So definitely be charging for those. Another fun idea is creating Cephy groups where you can charge a weekly or a monthly price to do different things like that. So definitely, if they're not practitioners, there's still ways to make money doing this as a business for sure.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. And being able to, as you say, create different programs, different groups, focusing on different aspects is 100% the case. And it can be around anything. We can have groups and running frequency around self-love. It could be about money and abundance, could be around, it could be weight loss, could be so many different things. So I think there really are, huge opportunities. And for those who are in the space of, animal lovers, being able to, run frequency for animals and be able to show people what's going on emotionally for an animal is huge. And being able to run their chakras and realign their chakras, that is so cool in itself.
Right.
Yeah. And last but not least, I would love to know what's your favorite testimonial? What's your biggest testimonial that you feel you have experienced?
Okay, I have so many favorites. It's really hard to just choose one, but one of my absolute favorites is we had a client who had she was about 2 years old, and she had a horrible accident where boiling water had spilt all over her. And it was so bad that her hair was like fried off, and she had burns all over her body, mostly her face. And her eyes were even swollen shut for a couple days. She wasn't talking at all. She might've been 3 or 4. Now I'm thinking about it. But she wasn't talking or anything like that. So all I did was I just created a playlist of, back then it was only 10 frequencies. Now we have 15, but back then it was just 10 frequencies that I sent over to her, long distance broadcasted. They're in a different country. And literally within a couple hours, she sent me some photos and said, "You are not going to believe this." She was talking, her eyes were completely open. She was like running around. Her family had planned on going to the beach that day. And she went and got her swimsuit on. She had her swimsuit on. They bandaged her up. It was so cute. And she was able to go the rest of the day and hang out with her family. And she wasn't in any pain at all, but she was a couple hours previously. So that's probably like the craziest, coolest before and after photo type thing that it was really awesome being a part of that, helping her and her family.
Yeah, that's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. And thank you so much for joining us today. It's always a pleasure talking to you and picking your brain around the business side of things, because I know you've had huge success in Solex. And I know that, from the beginning, that was not necessarily your intention coming in and getting your device, but I think organically and authentically, it's just grown for you. And I love that so much. So I'm excited to be sharing the stage with you in September. I'm manifesting it. It's happening.
Crazy. That would be crazy.
Jess and I joke about this because Jess is the organized one and I'm the off the cuff one. So I can't make any promises how I'm going to go with that, but it'll be fun at least.
I will have to have like notes or something to read off of and help me. You're way more natural and you're awesome at it.
And I will just feed off you and like make it up as I go. So that's perfect. Beautiful. Thank you so much for joining me. I'm so grateful for you and I look forward to connecting again soon. And so now I'm going to introduce you to the beautiful Tammy Ward. So Tammy, I will get you to unmute. Hello, hello.
Good morning, everybody, and evening.
Good morning. Good morning. It's lovely to see you as always. And I am just going to share a little bit about Tammy before we get into the questions. So Tammy is an ordained reverend and sanctified healer, trained iridologist, certified holistic health coach, as well as a quantum wellness specialist, using an integrative approach with diet and lifestyle changes along with homeopathy and quantum frequencies to improve her clients' health. Working as a guide toward an overall healthier life, she will look at her clients' nutrition patterns, relationships, physical fitness, spirituality, and lots more. She uses this information to guide her clients to reach their health as well as their personal goals. Tammy has a passion for helping pets and is expanding into this area as well, which is amazing. I love working with animals too. Tammy obtained her certificates as a holistic health coach with Holistic Health and is certified and is currently getting her doctorate in monastic medicine as well as her doctorate in homeopathy, which is so exciting. Sorry, I'm just going to mute. I think we've got someone unmuted there. Sorry for the interruption. If everyone could just please make sure they're unmuted, that would be amazing. Oh, it may even be your... that's okay. We'll keep going. So Tammy, my first question for you today is, can you just share with us, please, and explain the AO scan to people who have not experienced it before? How would you explain it to people?
One of the things that I like to talk to people about is, most of them trust their doctors. And when they go see their doctor, and if they're having some heart issues, one of the things that doctors do is put them on an EKG. They don't ever question it. They don't wonder what it's about, but really an EKG is working off of the frequencies that the heart is putting off. So with our scanners, we're able to read the frequencies that the body is putting off. So this really allows us to help our clients realize that what they have in their hand is truly a roadmap for their health. And that is one of the things, as an iridologist, I'm able to help people realize that, the body has maps in the body. And with our scanners, it's going to help you with that roadmap. It's going to help you with the information it gives you so that you can better understand what's going on in your body and how you need to help yourself.
Yeah, awesome. That's amazing. Thank you. And how do you explain the frequency? How would you explain to someone what frequencies are or how the device actually works?
Well, since everything is frequencies, the desk that we're sitting near, or the computer that you're sitting by, or the lights that are glowing on you, everything has a frequency. So with that, our bodies are made of just frequencies. We're just a physical body having or a spiritual being having a physical experience. So with that, we have all of these frequencies that build us up. We want to know how those frequencies are performing in our body so that we can see how to better help ourselves. Because a healthy heart beats at a certain frequency. Healthy eyes beat at certain frequencies. So our scanner will measure those frequencies based on some very minute information that we plug into it: name, height, weight, date of birth, and maybe a picture even. And now we don't even need a picture. So just a little bit of information, and we can help somebody figure out what's going on inside.
Yeah, I love that so much. Thank you so much for sharing that. And so can you share with us what your number one tip on building a business with Solex is, because one of the things I didn't mention before is that Tammy is the #1 quantum living advocate in Solex. And I love that we are able to pick your brain today, because you are literally leading the way for the rest of us. You are the highest rank in the company, which is just so amazing. Congratulations, because it's only just been super recent as well. So we're so excited for you. But can you share with us what's some of the top tips in building a business with Solex? What would you recommend?
This is what I tell anybody coming in and anybody that's struggling. Maybe they don't have an upline. Number one, plug into the weekly calls. You've got to watch the weekly calls. That is something that I have done from day one. And day one, Jess probably even knows this, we didn't have the YouTube channel. We had actual Zoom calls. And if you didn't get in on a certain time, you didn't get in because there was only so many that they could have. So,
Right.
as a I tell everybody, get on the company calls. That's how you're going to know. Go to the days of discovery. I've been to every one and I will not miss any. Connect with the YouTube channel, connect with the podcast if you have to, connect with the Facebook group. I have 2 Facebook groups, one for people that want to just kind of, really examine what the device is all about. They just want education and they just want to know what it's all about. So I have a group for that, but then I have a group for my team members that we just talk about business. So I say, get with your sponsors, get with your people, and get plugged in. And I have a private chat too for my team. I make myself available at all times.
Yeah. Yeah, I love that. And I think one of the biggest things there, Tammy, too, is that I know, we all go through stuff in life, but I think one of the things that is so important and that I love from a business perspective about you, that no matter what is going on in your life, you're still plugged in. And I think that that's really important, is to be in your business. And when you need to step away, like Dr. Sheila was saying before, if you ever do need to step away, we have that residual income coming in. But it's so important to be in your business, no matter what that looks like, and to be committed. I know for myself, like I've had a lot going on recently around me, within my family. But if there's one thing I'm not going to do is completely step out, because at the end of the day, it is a business, and to be able to keep the business running and the cogs turning in the business, it's important to be in it. So you can take a step back always, but I think that consistency is key. Would you agree?
I would agree very much, because if you're not visible and you are a leader, then people start to have a little bit of despair. They don't know where to go. They don't know where to turn. So you need to be very visible and make yourself available, have Zoom calls, do whatever it is that you can do for your people. I do a lot of one-on-ones, because I do have my training calls, but not everybody can get on those training calls.
Yeah.
So make yourself available. And if your team knows, hey, we can jump on a Zoom call first thing in the morning. I can do it late in the evening. I can do it on a weekend. Make yourself available, and that will help, your team feel very confident in what you're doing.
Yeah, I agree. And I think too, from an energetic perspective, it's really important for people to understand energy. Where if your energy is stopped or disconnected or closed off, that disconnects your people too. So, as much as sometimes, like for myself, I use myself as an example. Even when I've got things going on, I'm always connected to whatever degree that is, because the minute I disconnect that and stop, the flow of that energy stops as well. And it's not just about the duplication of it, but it's in the energy work of what we do. If the energy stops, then it's got a flow-on effect as well. So I think that that's really important to, and I see it. I see it in different companies. I see it, in different, teams and things like that. It's really important to be able to continue that flow of energy through the group, and that's where it's great to have that support as well. From others, right? Yeah. So my next question for you is, how do you attract new people into your business, whether they be quantum living advocates or preferred customers? How do you find new people?
The way that I have done this in the past, and I've not been able to do it very much here lately, because as a lot of you may or may not know, is that my husband has come to join me full time in building both of our teams. So I've been working alongside him to get him up to speed. So, but let me, when there's time to mentor somebody, you take that time and you mentor them. But if I'm needing to build up and get more, then one of the things that I do is I'm in a lot of different groups in Facebook. One of my passions, like I said, is working with animals, also working with ADHD children. Anybody that's on the spectrum, I love working with those type of kids. I also like to work with the kids that have been damaged in some way, either by jabs or maybe birth or something like that, because I have a birth trauma baby. So it's very near and dear to my heart. And homeopathy is one of the things that I love. So I've plugged myself into all of these different groups. If I see somebody commenting that maybe I know I can help them with my scanner, I will just make a simple plug. Now, you've got to be careful with that. But, I could say something, very generic by saying that, I have a bioresonance scanner that I could help your animal with. I'd be happy to send some frequencies. Or if you just want to know about it, I have an educational group. I can invite you to it. Leave it at that. They will come find you. And that is something that I have been very successful at. So, tune into people, show them that you care, show them it's not about selling a device, it's about showing them something that they really need. Everybody needs one of these devices, because then they become empowered and they get to do their own health, they get to walk their own walk, so help them to see that you can guide them along the way. So that is something that I have done.
Yeah, I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that. And I think, in hearing what you're saying there, it's also looking, and I don't mean this in a negative way, looking for opportunity to be able to reach out to people, right? And I don't mean opportunity in a negative way, but it is that opportunity to help people. Gosh, there's been so many people over time that I have reached out to and said, oh my gosh, like I look at and I'm like, I can help you with that. Like I reached out to you the other day because I saw on my Facebook that there was a horse with colic, and I was like, I wonder if there's a playlist that I can run for that. And I thought, if anyone's going to have a playlist, it's going to be Tammy Ward. And sure enough, you had it. So I'm so grateful for that. But now, because I do have so many friends in that equine industry, that I see those sorts of posts come up regularly, to be able to reach out to someone and say, oh my gosh, can I run frequency for your horse and help support in that space, isn't about me reaching out to sell them a device. However, when they see the effect of how incredible that is and how helpful and supportive that is, then the chances are that is what will happen. But it's from the intent of what it's created. So I think that definitely looking for that opportunity to reach out to someone and say, hey, I can help you with that. And the amount of times I've actually been really surprised that people go, oh my gosh, that's phenomenal. What is that? And it never even occurred to me a lot of the time, to be honest with you, that they would even be interested necessarily in the technology of having it for themselves, but they are, particularly when they see the results. So that's really amazing. Thank you so much. What areas of expertise, like what type of person, etc., can you share with us on how you have gained that success that you have and your daily actions? So in the sense of, is there I guess a type of person, but a practitioner or specific qualifications that people have that are attracted to the device?
I really do focus on people that are energetic workers or that understand energy. But I also am drawn to talk to even the moms that are homeschoolers, because they think outside the box.
Yeah.
I was a homeschooler. So there's different ways to approach people, but yeah, I approach just about, any of the, I mean, a lot of the people on my team are practitioners, but we have a lot of people that are just using the device as personal use, because they're moms, they're grandmas, they're, they want to help their family. So I really try not to kind of put up a wall about who I talk to, because you just never know. If you don't
Yeah,
ask, you'll never know. So
absolutely.
don't block that off, because it may be somebody that doesn't. I didn't know about frequencies. Every one of us said here at the beginning, none of us knew what frequencies were.
Yeah.
So reach out to that person, because this is a new thing that people are starting to look at, and why not invite them in and say, hey, I've got something you might be interested in.
Yeah,
So don't shut that
absolutely.
door.
Excellent. Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. And so from a compensation plan perspective, can you talk to us about what the earning capabilities are? Because I know you're the number one earner in the company. So I left this question for you. Talk to us
Well,
a little around.
yeah, I actually went back and I looked at last month's check, because like they said on the Zoom call or the YouTube call, it's the largest check that they've cut. And I can tell you I was about $700 away, or $700 more than I was with my first biggest check of the company, and that was back in March of 2021. So I was completely taken back by it. But I'm going to tell you that pool sharing, once you get to the areas where you can start getting into the pool sharing, that's when your check blows up. Because I went back and I looked, oh my gosh, this is where, I mean, half of my check is from that alone.
Oh, amazing. That's
So
so
this
good
is
to know.
it's a wonderful thing to open that up and go, well, where did all this money come from? Because I'll be honest with you, I don't even look at how I've been paid. I just
Yeah.
take it and I go and I do my work. The payment is just the cherry on top for doing, actually working my butt off. Oh, let's go
Yeah.
there. I just, it is my passion, it's my drive. I don't care about the money part of it. I care more about how many people I can help. So our income potential with this company, even Dr. Sheila said it, I think even Jess said it, it is unbelievable. We get a
Yeah.
65% liftoff bonus when we, sell a device, get the subscription, and get the subscription on auto ship. That's 65%. And if you do just the minimal stuff, you're going to give yourself a very nice bonus at the month end.
Yeah.
So you're going to get all of your investment back if you work on getting three people and helping your people get three people. All of that investment comes back to you.
Yeah.
Lauren has got a beautiful setup. I mean, when I started with this, one of the things that touched my heart, and I say this all the time about what Lauren said, was that if you come into this business wanting to make money, you're in it for the wrong reason. And I'll
Yeah.
say that for every time I get on a call, because it's true. If you're coming into this business to really only think about the money part of it, you're in it for the wrong reason. You need to be out there helping people.
Yeah.
And we have a beautiful tool in our, we can. And we can do it remotely. We don't have to be in person with people. So the
Yeah.
income potential is huge. It's very generous. It's bigger than anything I've ever seen across the board. And I've done lots of network marketing.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I know that you put together just some examples of the liftoff bonus. So I'm just going to pop those in the chat now for those of you who would like to take a screenshot of that. You're more than welcome to. We have a couple of examples there. Now, I know in my previous company, Tammy, from a residual perspective, so I love that, we get paid 65% as a liftoff. That is a huge amount of money. But from a residual perspective, I'm not going to lie, my previous company, we got paid between 2 and 9%. So remind me what it is with Solex.
45%, you people. It's 45%. So in other
And that
words,
is every month.
that subscription that someone has underneath you, you're getting $50.40 a month off of that one subscription.
Yeah.
So you see, you get 3, it pays for your subscription. You help them get 3, it pays for that. And that's the whole thing about this company is share, get others involved, and it just pays for itself. It really does.
And I think too, like this is something that Jess was leaning into before, was around have 3 people on board and then your subscription is free. So that's brilliant. But the other thing is too, it also ranks you to the first rank, which is bronze, which gives you a $25 US bonus every single month just for that first rank. So it's not just free now, you're actually getting money on top of that, which is amazing. And now you're already entitled to the starting in the bonus pool, which is huge considering, again, like companies I've seen before, like you have to be at elite ranks to be in those bonus pools. And those bonus pools, for those of you who don't know what they are, a bonus pool is generally a percentage of the new sales that the business has created for that month worldwide. And they will share that percentage with usually the top leaders in a company. With Solex, you only need your minimum of 3 to be bronze, and you are already in that pool. So I think that is huge as well. So earning income potential, and that's just like the tip of the iceberg, right?
Yeah, very much. There's so much more to this. And I mean, if you're not making money with the residual part of it, just like Jess said, and we all do, make money by, scanning other people. I do a monthly inner voice program for $49 a month where they get a daily inner voice every day. And I charge $49 US dollars. And, people sign up for that all the time. They don't want to do everything, but they want to do something.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. And I do love that for those who are looking for an income opportunity, whether that be by creating a service for people or having people to be able to have their own device, and creating it that way is incredible. And I think just on the last thing that I'd love to mention before we head off today, because, we're almost out of time, is that even from an incentive perspective, the company is always so well organized in advance. Till the end of April, you have the opportunity to receive your Quantum Living Advocate fee for free. That is normally $49 US. They will completely wipe that for the month of April. And you will also, when you purchase a device, receive a $50 gift card to the store. So that is incredible. That was a different promotion for May and June, and we do it quarterly, which is awesome. But at the moment, there is the incentive, and they do a big incentive as well, and that's to Punta Cana in the Dominican Republic. And to look at that incentive and to only need 15 people to come into your organization personally enrolled to win a ticket for 1 to Punta Cana, all expenses paid, is massive. And to only need 20 people for a trip for 2, like that is thousands of dollars worth of value. And you're going to be getting paid on all of those people coming in and then win a trip as well. It's just, to me, it's just so generous. And I actually asked them when I was with the corporate team in the States back in October, I said to them, why did you make it so achievable? Because, for anyone who's actually really serious about building a business with Solex, 15 to 20 people over that period of time, the incentive doesn't finish until August. It's not easy, but it's very achievable. And they said, we want people to come. We want to make it achievable for people, and we want them to come. So I love that. So thank you so much, Tammy. Thank you so much to Jess. Thank you so much to Dr. Sheila for joining me today and sharing with our beautiful community, whether you are already a Quantum Living Advocate with Solex, or whether you are choosing to look at the business side and look at this, whether this is or isn't for you. We hope that you really enjoyed our call today. We thank you for taking the time out of your day to be here with us. If this really resonates with you like it did for us, we would encourage you to reach out to the person who invited you to this call. Please go back to them, ask questions, and we hope to see you more regularly on and with our beautiful community. So thank you, everyone. Much appreciated, and have a beautiful weekend. Thank you all, and goodbye.